or contest. A winner in any struggle or contest. It is a overcomer, one who has defeated an adversary. Now, there are some that have been mistreated. There are some have been abused, neglected, and molested. Some, whether you decide to tell your story or not, some of us in here have had that experience, have been victims of those experiences. But you overcame it. You overcame it. How do I know you overcame it? Because you are here. You are still clothed and in your right mind with a reasonable portion of health and strength, right? So that means that you overcame. So that makes you a victor. You went through, I've been through not having light, not having gas, not having phone, not having friends, not having family. I've been through that. I've had those tests in my life. But the fact of the matter is this. I've been through it. That is now behind me. So that means that that does not make me who I am. It created that test, created the testimony that I got right now.
Yes.
Amen. Amen. Dr. Charles G. Hayes, I'm one of those ones that I've been in music ministry for many years because my family I come from a lineage of music ministers. And I've learned how to listen to the words of certain songs. So I'm always be kind of old school because some of the new stuff don't really have the message that I'll be looking for, but the old stuff do. So my references will be more so of the old, school stuff. Dr. Charles G. Hayes and the Cosmetology Choir sang a song, Jesus Will Work It Out. Right?
I love it. Yes.
Now,
yes.
Listen to that. Yeah, see, you know it, right? Okay, so old girl, I don't know her name, so she's going to be old girl today, right? Old girl, she sang a verse, and she said, that problem that I had, I just couldn't sing the song. She said, I tried, but I just got deeper involved. But then what happened? But then I turned it over to Jesus. And what else? Because see, there's some steps in there. I turned it over to Jesus. Then I stopped worrying about it. I gave it over to the Lord, and He worked it out. So she went from being a victim of not having her gas bill, waiting on that next paycheck, kids needing shoes, not having food. She went from a victim of that, but then when she gave it over to Jesus, she became a victor. Because see, He worked it out. Yes. Now, how did He work it out? He paid that gas bill. He paid that light bill. Them babies got food to eat. Right. And they got shoes on their feet. Yes. Amen? Yes. I know of a woman, her mama named her Mellisa, who was going to work every day and was crying on her way to work every day. Why was she crying? Because she had lost her house. She had lost her husband. She had lost her adopted children. But yet and still, she still had to get up every day and go to work and didn't know where she was going to lay her head. But yet and still, in the midst of that, God still worked it out. There's been times where we didn't know where food. I stood over the freezer saying to the Lord, I don't know what you're going to do because there's no meat in here. And I need to feed these children. I need you to make a way out of no way. But when you give it over to God and not stay in your victim posture and say, I'm more than a conqueror, I will overcome this. Don't know how, don't know when, don't know where, but I will overcome this. When I took on that posture, I got a knock at the door. Young lady at the church, I didn't tell her none of my business, because remember, I'm old school. You don't tell folks your business. What's in the house, stay in the house. That's your business. You know, but yet and still, she says to me, I was at the grocery store, and the Spirit of the Lord came upon me. And I got these 7 bags of groceries for you, and you owe me absolutely nothing. Hallelujah. That's because of what? I'm nobody's victim. I'm God's victor. That's right. Hallelujah. There was a time long ago, I don't know what year it was, but who was it? Lamar Campbell. Lamar Campbell wrote a song, and the song was More Than Anything. And the song goes, see, I got some heads now. I love you, Jesus.
Yes.
I worship and adore you. Just want to tell you, Lord, I love you
Come on,
Now,
Presbyterian.
when you can sing that, you are nobody's victim.
Hallelujah.
When you can say, Lord, I love you more than anything.
Yeah.
Why? Because, Lord, I'm looking at your resume in my life. I'm looking at when husband said I wasn't going to make it, when family said I wasn't no good. I'm looking at when people was constantly persecuting me. You made a way out of no way. I'm looking at God's resume in my life. And there are sometimes we just got to put pen to paper. And we got to write down what God has done for us in our lives.
That's right.
Sometimes we don't, instead of writing down, I understand the vision boards. I love those vision boards. I get it. You have a vision. Habakkuk 2 and 2. Write the vision, make it plain. So that they that read it can run with it. Well, how about if you write God's resume in your life? Write that vision, make it plain. So that when you go back and read over it, you can say, oh no, I refuse to go back to that mindset.
Yeah.
I refuse to think those things. I'd rather look at the man in the mirror and say, you are fearfully and wonderfully made and marvelous in heaven. That's what I'd rather see. I'd rather say to myself, yes, times are hard right now. I don't know where that job is coming. I don't know how I'm going to pay this bill. They say I need a vehicle. They say I need this. They say they're going to cut back. They may not give me the raise that I need. But in the end, I know one thing, that there was a promise made over my life.
Come on, Jesus.
And the promise that was made was that I will never leave you, nor will I forsake you. But then he went back and said, I need you to go back a little further. Go back over there to Jeremiah 29 and 11. When I said I had a plan for your life before you was even a twinkle in your mama's eye or a quiver in your daddy's liver, I had a plan. The reason why I chose your father, the reason why I chose your mother, I don't care about how crazy daddy may be. I don't care about how off mama may be. I don't care about how they came short of their parental skills. It does not matter. I needed their DNA to make you who you are today. I could not use nobody else but Beverly and Ron. I needed them so that I could make Mellisa. Beverly and Ron got nothing to do with the plan that I have for Mellisa. They were just instruments used by me because I am God. And I can do whatever I want to do with whomever I want to do at any time I care to do it. Rather than me being a victim of neglect, rather than me being a victim of not being raised by a father, never had a daddy in my life, don't know how to act with me, and rather than me being that victim, why don't I take a victor stance and say, Lord, teach me how to be the roof that I need to be so that I can receive the Boaz that you have set. Teach me how to be the mother that I need to be so that when I go to raise my children, you will be proud of how I school them, how I guide them, how I lead them, and how I teach them. Don't give me nothing that I can't handle, because you said in your word that you won't put more on me than I can bear. So if I'm in this right now, you must be going to make a way of escape. If I can pause right there about the way of escape. When you're in the midst of a trial and you got to test yourself and you got to ask yourself and you got to question yourself, are you going to be victim or are you going to be victor? Then I want you to go back. I want you to go back and think about Brother Abraham. What's that son's name? Oh, boy, name was Isaac. Right? Right before Abraham decided because God told Abraham what? Take the boy. Sacrifice. Go to the mountain and sacrifice. Many times we've had to let things that are dear to us go. Things that are very close that we think, if I got to let this go, this is going to be the end of me. Think about Abraham before you decide that, oh, you're going to play the victim. Well, woe is me. Why me, Lord? Because Abraham said, I got to kill this only begotten son. But what did Abraham say at the foot of the mountain to the people? He didn't say, pray for me. This is the hardest thing that I've ever had to do. He didn't say that. Abraham spoke as a victor who knew by faith he was going to overcome. Because he looked back at the people and he said, I and the lad will return. Now, think about where he was coming from. He was not coming from a victim mentality. He was coming from a victor. So what he was saying within his faith was, something is going to turn around from the foot of this mountain to the top of this mountain. I don't know what it is, but I know this. Something is going to turn around. I'm not going to come back with my dead son. Come on. The Lord and I shall return.
Yes.
So that being the case, when you're facing that most difficult situation, when you're going through that most difficult time, rather than spewing the emotions, the negative emotions that are coming out of your mouth, that are coming through your mind, don't spew that out. Sister Tamara said earlier that she has to be careful of her words. The word of God can back that. Because the word of God said that there is life and death in the tongue. So we have to be careful with our words. So instead of that negative self-talk that we like to do, we have to be careful of what we spew out of our mouth. We have to make sure that the words that we speak are life-giving words. Make sure you're speaking life to your family. Make sure you're speaking life to your children. And make sure, most importantly, you are speaking life to yourself. So when you're standing in the mirror and you feeling like, woe is me, when you feeling like, I don't know if I'm going to make it, you look in the mirror and you say to yourself, you may feel like you ain't got this, but you serve a true and living God. And you're going to get through this. And sis, this too shall pass. Come on and give the Lord a hand. In these times, and as I get ready to take my seat, because I think I only have 20 minutes, I don't know where I'm at. Oh, I got the okay. Don't give folk like me. That's a little dangerous. I won't do that. Going forward, whether we want to believe it or not, we are indeed in the last days. My husband and I were talking about this last night because he said, think about it good. It's so easy to say, oh, people have been saying that for years. He said, but if you really think about it, when we look at God, the Bible tells us that one day in heaven is 1,000 years in the earth. So if it's already been 2,000 years or 4,000 years, that's only 4 days, according to heaven. Because one day is 1,000 in heaven, correct? So if we think about it in those technicalities, then that means that the Lord had only held off for 4 days. You hear me what I'm saying to you? There's lesser days coming. Amen? And things are going to get worse. They're not going to get better. Because if they did, then the word of God would be untrue. But because things are going to get better, one thing will remain the same. He said to us that he's the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. So God is going to be the same God that he was for you last year, year before last, and the year before that year. When you are facing adversity going forward, face it as a victor in the Lord. You are victorious women. God got major plans, and here's the blessing in the plan. You can't leave here until he has fulfilled his purpose in your life. That's a promise. He's a gentleman. He ain't gonna force himself on you, but he gonna keep his word. You worried about if man keep their word. I'm not worried about as much as I love my husband. I don't worry about him keeping his word. But I will hold God true to his word. You said you gave me this man. You better fix this thing right now. I've been doing everything you done told me to do. You better work this out, Lord. This your problem. This ain't my problem. And I say to the devil, I'm going to bed. I'm not sitting up. Folk, I don't have time to be worrying about folk. I can't change folk mind. I can't change folk perception of me. I'm not going to worry about folk. I think about, my mind goes back to, I had dear family members say to me, Oh, you're such a beautiful little girl. You're so pretty. Oh my God, you have such a beautiful skin. But you will never have a man because you're too fat. It came a point in my life with someone that was very dear to my heart, a matriarch of my family, if I will. I had to stand and say to her, if I die with a chicken bone in my mouth, as long as I die happy, that's all that matters. Now, I walked away devastated because I didn't want to have to take that stance to that person because I adored that person. And to have to take that stance was very hurtful, but I had to fight for me.
Yes. That's right.
Because here you are, you're supposed to be speaking life over me, and you're telling me that I have demise in my life. No. And here it is years later, and I ain't even making an apology that it's husband number 2. I wasn't a woman for the job for husband number 1, so I sought gainful employment somewhere else.
Amen.
So
and
husband number 2 who adores me,
Yes.
I can say is my boy. That's why my shirt is a testimony.
all right.
I
Yes.
don't have to worry about if he loves me because he tell me every chance he gets.
That's right.
I don't have to worry about if he has my back because he's there for me every time I need him. I have discovered that if I make it up in my mind that I want to be Ruth, that God will send me my Boaz. And here's the thing. He'll also make a law over those who spoke ill over me.
Come on.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he met me when I was bigger than I am right now. And he loved every ounce.
Hey. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
I said that to say, don't let nobody come and speak your future. If they don't say what God has already said to you, rebuke that in the name of Jesus.
Name of Jesus, yes.
Openly say, I do not receive that. I have been in situations where I've had to say to others that have come to me and said all sorts of crazy stuff. And one I had to say, you know what? I just feel in my spirit. You didn't pray before you walked over here. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to forget everything you just said to me. I'm going to allow you to walk away. And then you go and pray. And then you can come back and talk to me later. Because all of that was a lie. Now, you don't ever want to have those confrontations. But the Bible tells us that we got to be careful about guarding our own heart.
Yes.
I come and speak anything over me.
That's
If
right.
this ain't lining up with the word
You
of
better
God,
pray.
and if you ain't coming to confirm what God has already said to me, then you are a devil. You are a woman of iniquity.
Yeah.
And I rebuke thee, and you must flee. And the reason being, because I'm nobody's victim. I'm a victor in Jesus. Hold true to God. Hold true to your integrity. Love yourself first and love God and be encouraged and know that you're blessed.
Thank you.
Woo!